Welcome back to The Mystery with Jensen and Marley. Follow us on Facebook and text or email who you think did it to jensen@jensenday.com. And please don't reveal the mystery. Every year, the McCauley family gathers for Easter weekend at the family's estate in upstate New York. The estate had belonged to the family since the 1930s, when Frank McCauley and his wife Carolyn moved to New York after they fled Chicago under mysterious circumstances. Whispers of a scandal, something involving a missing business partner, and a suitcase full of cash have followed the McCauleys for generations, though no one ever speaks of it outright. Now, nearly a century later, the estate still stands proud, its ivy-covered stone walls hiding decades of secrets. This year, however, Easter weekend would bring more than just chocolate eggs. It would unearth something long buried, something that not everyone in the family is ready to confront. Eli McCauley had not seen any of his family for over 5 years. He was considered the black sheep of the family. He did not attend an Ivy League after high school. He found joy in serving others, not by being served. This weekend, he and his new fiancée would reunite with his parents, siblings, grandparents, and cousins. He was nervous about what had changed since he had been gone, or rather, what had not changed. Eli's cousin Allie was the youngest of the group, currently in her second semester at Dartmouth, majoring in something called agrophysics. No one was entirely sure what that entailed, not even Allie, but the family was proud nonetheless. After all, she was upholding the tradition of academic excellence. Her parents, of course, were less concerned with her major and more hopeful she'd be a bright young man in finance and be engaged by senior year anyhow. Allie had 2 older siblings, a twin brother and sister. Zach was a senior at Dartmouth, about to graduate with a job lined up at NASA. Christina, following after her parents, was finishing up her degree in English from Yale. Both of their parents were college professors who met at Yale in the fall of 1986. Similarly, Eli's parents had met in college, Harvard, of course. His mother, Margaret, studied art history and now curated exhibitions at the Met, while his father, James, held a powerful position at a Manhattan law firm. Their relationship had always felt more like a strategic partnership than a romance, built on legacy, ambition, and shared expectations. This coldness passed on to Eli's brother, Will, who had very few friends and could not hold a relationship past the second date. Will was following in the footsteps of his dad's business, but his personality wasn't far behind either. Then there were the grandparents, John and Eleanor McCauley, now well into their 80s. They held court at the estate like aging royalty, sharp-eyed, silver-haired, and still very much in control. John rarely spoke unless it was to ask a pointed question. Eleanor, ever composed in her pearls and soft cashmere, had the unsettling ability to know things no one ever told her. All in all, it was a cast of characters better suited for a drama than a holiday gathering, and yet this Easter weekend they would come dressed in pastels and polite smiles, clinking champagne glasses and pretending the shadows in the hallway didn't mean anything at all. But this year, one of those shadows would reach a little too far, and someone wouldn't make it to Monday. It started on Saturday evening. The rain had begun to fall softly over the estate, the kind of gentle drizzle that muted the world and made the old stone walls feel even older. Dinner had just finished, and the family lingered in the drawing room. Eli stood at the edge of the group, watching his relatives trade stories and thinly veiled jabs like they always had. He felt his fiancée, Mara, slip her hand into his. She was the only thing anchoring him to the moment. That was when the power flickered. The room dimmed, a brief silence, and then light returned. "Old wiring," said Will with a tight smile, but Eli noticed the way his brother glanced toward the hallway, toward the study. Later that night, while everyone was tucked into their rooms, a scream echoed through the house. It was Christina. They found Zach collapsed on the floor of the study, his body twisted awkwardly, a shattered glass near his hand. At first glance, it could have been an accident. A fall, a seizure maybe. But Eleanor took one look at the scene and said he didn't fall. Someone helped him down. The local police were called, but the storm had knocked out part of the road leading to the estate. Help would take hours, maybe longer. So they waited. And while they waited, Eli noticed how quickly the mask began to slip. Will snapped at their father. Margaret whispered urgently with Eleanor in the hall. Allie cried, but Eli wasn't sure it was just grief. Mara started asking questions, quietly, gently, the way she always did when something wasn't adding up. It didn't take long for Eli to realize that Zach had been working on something. He found a folder in the study, half hidden under the rug, containing spreadsheets, wire transfers, and names he didn't recognize. Whatever Zach was involved in, it was big and dangerous, and it wasn't just about Zach. Eli found hints that Will had known, that Christina had been trying to stop him, and that even their grandfather, John, had warned Zach days before. By Sunday evening, another secret came to light. The family trust was nearly empty. Zach had discovered someone had been stealing from it, quietly, for years. He had traced it to one of their own, and he had planned to reveal everything that weekend. But someone got to him first. And then, just as the storm began to break and the first cruiser headlights appeared at the edge of the estate's long driveway, another scream rang out. This time, it was Will. They found Eleanor at the bottom of the grand staircase, her pearl necklace snapped, beads scattered like drops of milk across the marble floor. Her eyes stared up at the ceiling, unblinking. No one said it out loud, but they all thought it. Eleanor never would have missed a step. As the police finally stepped inside, everyone began talking at once. Conflicting stories, different timelines, too many truths to sort out through quickly. Eli watched them all. Someone in this house had blood on their hands, and now 2 people were dead. But the truth was still hiding somewhere in those ivy-colored walls, waiting to be found. Remember to follow us on Facebook and text or email who you think did it to Jensen@jensenday.com. And please don't reveal the mystery.